Hello freedom seekers, Jeremy Chambers, Independence Acres Homestead. Out here in the garden expansion with Luke and Josh. So all in all, the garden expansion has been pretty successful this year. We're pretty happy with how it's going. It has been one of our best years for green beans. We had good luck with some Blue Lake bush and some of the dragon tongue bean from Baker Creek. We're able to get them out here actually a little later than we should have, but it was actually good for us because we got them out here to a point where the rabbits didn't know they were here. And so everything grew and producing good beans. We got beans. We already went ahead and did some succession sowing in between these existing ones. So over the next couple weeks, those new plants will get to the point where they're going to start producing too. So if you remember, we made these raised beds out of some logs that we harvested here on the property. And our first crop that we planted in here was onions. It was Luke's onions bed. And they did really well, but we've already harvested those. We harvested them. Luke, how long ago did we harvest those onions? About 2 weeks? Yeah, about 2 weeks ago after we got back from Hannibal. We already started our fall garden. We've got some turnips and radishes over here, some beets and radishes in this bed, and over there we've got some leafy green from Baker Creek tatsoi. Looking forward to seeing how that tastes. Should be able to get some harvest of each of these before we have such a hard frost that it starts killing stuff off. All right, now we got 2 rows of beans. We got 2 rows of peppers here. The back ones over here, Lesia, I think that's how you say it. Anyway, Baker Creek claims they are the sweetest pepper in the world. And we'll see about that if we actually get any ripe ones, because, you know, being up in Michigan, sometimes we do not get our peppers to be ripe. So we usually eat them in the green stage. But even green, those are a pretty good pepper. Nice, thick flesh, good flavor. We've got 2 plants of lemon spice jalapeno, lemon jalapeno. 2 natapeño plants. And then these other ones here are some really big standouts we got from Baker Creek. These are Pippin's Golden Honey, and so far pretty prolific, but once again, we're not sure exactly what they're going to taste like ripe, but as a green pepper, they're pretty tasty, nice and flavorful, not hot at all. They're supposed to be a nice sweet pepper also. So prolific though, still flowering. We're here in the 3rd week of August. And still flowering, still setting new fruit. So really happy with these and the Lesia peppers producing well. And even if we only get to eat them green, I'm happy with it. The nasturtium plants, out of the entire row of nasturtium that we planted, only 3 plants survived from the deer invasion in early June there. So yeah, we've been pretty happy with it. They look nice and full. The soil we put in here has been must have been good quality, because everything that we put in is growing well. All right, over here we've got our potted plants, some orange hat and Tiny Tim tomatoes. Got a little bit too much rain, and so those started to split this week. Otherwise, they're pretty good tomatoes. And then we've got 4 moringa trees here. 3 have done really well. 1's kind of slow to take off, but it's getting there. All right, now let's step over here to lavender. We already talked about the beans a little bit. Lavender's doing pretty well. We actually have some lavender blossoms coming up here on some of these varieties. This is the Homestead lavender, and then some English lavender. So we're actually going to get some lavender blooms this year. Happy with that. So we've got our chamomile and our calendula. These are the 2 things that we're going to be harvesting a little bit today. Now you can see I let some of them go to seed, because we're actually going to take the chamomile that's gone to seed and we're going to spread it back out here so that this will self-seed for next year. And same with the calendula. We let some of these heads mature out all the way, and we're going to leave them until they fully dry and seed, so that we can put these back in these beds, and these 2 beds will be the exact same things that they were this year. So the 3rd thing we're going to be harvesting today, well, not really harvesting, I guess it's harvesting for flowers too, right? We're going to be cutting some heads off of these Gomphrena here. Once again, another flower that we can use to make teas. These actually turned out really well. The rabbit manure we put in here Must have just been just what we needed as far as fertilizer goes in order to get these things growing well and blooming well. All right, so we're gonna start on the Gomfrina. I think I'm saying that right. If not, feel free to correct me. Anyway, we're gonna start here with these purple globy flowers for our harvesting of our flowers for teas and herbs and stuff. We're gonna be using this cool little kit that we just got. Ordered this off Amazon today. I probably could have made something, but honestly, I just didn't feel like it. I was a little lazy today. So I ordered this little herb harvesting and drying kit off of Amazon. Actually kind of nice. Came with these pretty nice scissors here. Pretty sharp. Tested these inside the house already. Ooh. This is a little herb drying rack. So I'm gonna have one of the boys hold this. You know, one of the things I like about it, number one, it packs down nice and tight. But the other reason is it's covered on all sides. So if somebody knocks it, we're not gonna lose our entire herb harvest. I'll have one of the boys hold it and I'll get started on cutting some of the Gomfrina. So the top layer here is filled with the Gomfrina. Now we're going to start harvesting some chamomile here. Did a little bit earlier already, and I didn't realize how much of a pain it is to harvest the chamomile, because you really just want just the tip of the flower here. These little scissors actually are coming in pretty handy here, because the last ones I did, I just had regular like garden scissors, and I just really kept struggling with cutting too much. But this is small enough and delicate enough where I can really get right up underneath the flower and just pick and get it cut off just right below the bud there. Harvesting chamomile is back-breaking work, so I'm going to take a quick break, and I'm going to actually have the boys tell you so far what they think is the biggest winner in our garden expansion here. So we'll ask Josh first. Josh, so you've helped me work a lot on this garden expansion. You've been out here pretty consistently over the last few months, helping me weed, making decisions what gets planted where, and doing some harvesting. So let me ask you, what do you think so far is the biggest winner in the garden expansion this year?
I think it is the beans, which I'm eating right now.
Which ones do you prefer? The bush, the lake bush, or the dragon tongue? What's your favorite?
I prefer the dragon tongue.
For fresh eating?
Yes.
What about cooked?
That's a hard one.
That's a hard one? Okay. All right, well, any fails that you see in the garden here?
No.
No, we just need to make it bigger, right?
Yeah.
We got to finish the expansion, actually. We'll get that done maybe this fall. We'll get some more stuff set down, and in the spring have some more room to plant. All right. So Luke, besides your beautiful onions that you harvested already, what would you have to say is the biggest winner in the garden expansion this year?
The beans.
The beans, why?
They're easy to pick right off the plant and eat.
All right. So, I mean, it's the first time we've been successful for beans for a while, so that makes it an automatic win. So which one's your favorite, the Blue Lake, Bush Lake, or the
Dragon tongue.
Dragon tongue, fresh or cooked?
Fresh.
Fresh? All right, all right. So the fuzzy texture doesn't bother you any? No?
That's my favorite
Just
part.
munch on them. All right. Okay, cool. What about loser? Hey, no, in the... No, in the I am in the garden.
That is wrong.
Darn it, I am in the garden. Okay.
Victory!
We talked about the winners. I thought in the plants. In the plants here, what is the biggest loser in the garden expansion here as far as plants go?
I don't think there is any. Everything looks good.
All right, well here, I will be the one to tell us exactly what the biggest loser is.
Oh, yeah.
The biggest loser is this row right here. What do we got? Oh, those are asters. The asters were decimated by the deer. The straw flowers, I don't know if I just didn't get them planted early enough or what, but they are pretty pathetic. I honestly think that the deer may have eaten them a little bit too. So my arms are getting tired, my back's getting tired, but we still need to at least harvest a couple dozen of the calendula here. All right, let's get back to this. We're gonna try to pick our flowers that are full-headed. don't show any signs of aging yet. Like I said, I'd like to get about 2 dozen heads off of these flowers so that we can have some calendula tea for later on in the year. So that's a good looking bloom right there. Right? Nice and full all the way down through the center of the bloom. Really like how that looks. All right, well that about wraps up our activities out here in the garden expansion this afternoon. Really happy with what we've got so far. This is really our first foray into medicinal herbs and flowers, and really excited for these flowers and how they're gonna dry and what they're gonna look like in a few weeks. Beautiful already sitting in this dryer that we got. Really liking this dryer. If you're interested to figure out where we got this, check out the link down below and you'll be able to see where we got this. Click on that, it'll take you straight to Amazon and you'll be able to buy it. So far it's working out well. We like the intention. We'll see in a few weeks how everything turns out. Gonna set this up in a nice dry area in the house that has a little bit of air movement, and hopefully these things will be dried and ready to use in teas in just a few weeks. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you following along on this journey. And until next time, God bless.